G'day, my name is Tony and this is the first of hopefully many videos on how to do cosplay stuff with foam. It is my first video. It is also the first time I do something with EVA foam, so we'll see how we go. I'm a complete noob here, I have no idea what I'm doing, so here is what I got. I got a glue gun, I got some glue stick, got lots of EVA foam mat stuff, cutter. I splurged and bought some new blades, and I really splurged and I got a scalpel. So first warning, careful, all this cuts and you can cut yourself, so please be careful. Got some glue, white glue, we'll see if we need it. I got a very dirty mask, we'll see if we need it. Got some mints, we'll see. I'm going to try and do it the cheapest way I can. I got a big roll because it was the cheapest. It was 40 bucks for 2.4 meters by 1.2 meters. This is 8 millimeter, I believe. I'm not too sure, I think. Cutter I had, the glue gun I had, but I think you can get one from Bunnings for about 15 bucks, first price. 8 bucks for a lot of glue sticks. You'll need them, I'm sure. 2 bucks. 5 bucks, 6 bucks, don't know. Had it around the house, that's why it's very dirty, I guess. And since it's my first time doing this, I thought I'm not going to do a pattern, I'm just going to download one from the internet. And I found this nice helmet at lostwax.com, and it comes with very handy, what do you call this, pattern pages that you can just glue together. A nice helmet. So I'll try and do a medieval helmet with this. The pattern itself cost me 5 bucks I think. This is all Australian dollars, by the way, so if you're not in Australia you'll have to calculate because I'm not gonna. Right, so the first thing I guess is to get started and cut this pattern into little pieces. Alright, so the instruction at Lost Wax say to, well, basically the bits to cut are bigger than an A4, so you have to glue a number of A4 together, and that gives you a big page. I've done 3, I'm just going to do the last one. Shoot, I might speed this up in the actual video, so yes, you might not hear what I'm saying right now, we'll see. I'm just going to do that, align all the line. It says to align the crosses there, but the pattern is quite easy to align anyway. Except that one, of course. So I'm sure this is all very important. I should do it properly, but I'm just doing it like that. Done. So now I've got all those bits together, I can start cutting the paper. Let's do that. Got my cutter, got all my fingers. Hopefully I'll have all of those still at the end. Alright, let's just cut. I'll just cut on the right line and go. I'll put my light. I hope it's not going to bother the video too much. Let's see. This is fun. I'm having fun already. It's good. Cutting paper. Who knew? Alright, by the way, I'm using an old kitchen board, you know, cutting board. Got a big bin as well here. I'm sure that's going to come handy. There we go. First bit. I'll have to do it twice on the foam, right? Obviously, because you want to have both sides. Alright, so I've cut the 4 bits of paper and I have them there in front of me. There's 4 bits, but we'll have to cut 8 bits of foam, obviously, because they'll go both ways to have a symmetry. And now I need to cut them out of foam. So I'm not going to use the whole foam. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it flat, put the bits on it, and see how much or how little space I need to use to cut them all out. right? So the mat wanted to roll all the time, so I had to put it on the floor, put some stuff on it. You'll notice that the mat actually has some shapes on one side and it's flat on the inside, right? So you can use that, and that'll be good enough. As I was saying before, I'm using an old kitchen cutting board to cut all this, not to destroy my beautiful desk. And what I've done, I've cut a bigger part around all the little parts, pattern parts, so I don't have to work with a big board. So now I need to trace them, so I'm just going to go and do that. Put some light. The main thing I think is you don't want the bits to move while you're tracing around, so make sure you hold them. You can put some pins, I guess, if you want. It's foam after all, so it's not going to damage much. And you just go and trace. I'm using a ball point, and I think that's probably good enough for the foam. Make sure you don't press too hard, you wouldn't want to make a big groove in the foam. But at the same time, you don't want to do this too many times, so make sure it does right. Yeah, all good. Alright, let's go around this bit. The main thing I think is to have fun here, and this is quite enjoyable. There you go, nice head bit. Let's put this one there. It's still curvy, right? So it's a bit annoying. I'm sure there's a way you can change that, probably by heating it or something. So the fun thing when you do videos for the first time is that sometimes your camera will stop after 5 minutes or whatever, and you don't realize that you keep going, and obviously all that's not recorded. So while that was happening, I cut the first part out, moved it out, cut rough around, and now I cut precisely around it. So it's fairly soft, it's easy to cut. It's just like moderate pressure, go through, make sure you go through in one go. That's a nice clean cut. Try and go straight as well, not at an angle too much, because it'll make it nicer. And just follow the line, right? How hard could it be, unless the line has disappeared? Probably around there somewhere. This one's okay. The light. Good lighting is a must. So I'll probably have to do something about that. Oh, that's a sharp curve. There we go. Done. Done, done, done. Alright, so the first part is done. I'll have to do a second one on the other side, obviously, but let's go with the rest. Alright, going to cut out some more. I now have my 4 bits of foam cut out, and this is only half, but I'll need to have another 4, the reverse sides, to the other side of the helmet, but I can start gluing. I can do that later. So according to the instructions, we need to glue items 2 and 3 together. This is going to go like that, like that, like that, like that, and it's really not the same shape, so we'll have to sort of compress it, which will make a curve and therefore a 3D shape of a head-ish. So for this I have my hot glue gun that is heating up. I've got a few of those sticks ready because they go out really, really quickly. And I'm going to start gluing. So let's start and tighten up the ends first, and then we'll go on all the reference points that really do not align at all like this. So we'll have to squeeze the foam, I guess. And let's try and make this as nice as possible. Yeah, glue gun ready. Yep, let's go. Try not to make too much of a smudge. Some glue there. Let's align this. Alright, there's already glue everywhere. That's a good start. Push those together. Wait 30 seconds. Maybe a minute. I don't know. Alright. Looks like it's holding. Let's move to the other end. So the trick, I think I'll put it on the outside. It seems to behave like that a little bit more. Alright, same thing. Just a couple centimeters. Try and make it as flush as possible. And wait 30 seconds. Okay, it's holding. The glue has come out a bit, but I guess we'll be able to move that out afterwards. No big deal. Alright, so now I need to align those points. And just with the curve that this made, they sort of align already. This pattern is really nice. It kind of works. So let's just put some on the dots here and press them together. And let's see. Try to make the layers as flush as possible. It'll be much easier to do it now than afterwards, I guess. Alright, onwards and forwards, all the data points. I think I'll skip all this on the video and talk to you at the end. Something I didn't mention before, this is a hot glue gun. Important word, hot. It's hot. You don't touch that bit because you will burn yourself, as demonstrated. Alright, so all the reference points have been glued. That's fine. All the little strings there can go later on. Who cares about that? But now we need to fill the gaps that are everywhere. So let's do that. Start at the bottom. Looks like it might be easier from the outside here and cleaner probably, because this will be the inside of the helmet, so we don't care about that too much. So let's fill in this hole. Alright, so I've glued the first two bits together. It looks a bit messy from the inside, but let's flip it over, see what happens. Whoop. So realize this will be the side of a helmet. There's some lumps there that I need to get rid of. Before we do that, they just tear off. That's just glue, extra glue, right? Careful not to tear the foam off. That would be bad. Can clean that up later. There's a bit of a gap there. I'll have to fill that with something, I guess. Maybe glue. And that's going to be alright. So what I'm going to do now is take the third bit and put it in here, same way, so that will shape around a bit more and become rounder. And then I'll do the other side. I have two halves. And I'll meet you again at that point. So I've now done the two sides of the helmet. As you can see, they'll have to go like this to form a full shell. And I've also done the face, so I've got two of them, and they will link like that and become a faceplate that can lift up. I went with the model with the little lines there, which I thought was nice. What else have I done? I've cleaned up all the glue bits on the outside. I don't really care about the inside. You can see there's lots of glue everywhere, but on the outside I just took my cutter and nicely cut all the stuff out, so it's a little bit smooth. It's not really nice. It's not exactly a very nice job I've done there. I filled up some of the bigger holes with hot glue, so it's still horrible, but it's a lot smoother. And lastly, I've done the holes where they were marked with a cap of ballpoint, just went whoop, whoop, whoop. So I've got something to work on. These guys have the same holes here. Just follow the pattern fairly easy. So now what I have to do is to glue these guys together, and then glue these guys together, and then find some sort of thing to make a hinge there, so that the mask can go like that. So, faithful glue gun. Don't touch it because it's hot, obviously, but that's not how you check that it's hot. If it's melting, that means it's hot. And we're going to do the same thing as before, just glue the ends first and then the points along the way, and it should be somewhat reasonable. Now all these holes and gaps and all that we'll fill in later on with some gap filler and smooth that up. And once all that's nice and smooth, I guess we'll just find some paint that works on foam, and we'll seal it all first, and we'll see what we get from that. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Alright, let's do it. With the light and the glue gun. Just a couple centimeters every time. Don't really need more. Probably need to put a glue stick in there if I want it to work. Oh, there it is. And yes, we go. A couple centimeters just to get a nice clean mark. Now try and make sure that the outside looks nice. The inside doesn't really matter, but make sure it's nicely aligned outside, because that's what people see. It's been 5 minutes now and a full glue stick, and I have a full helmet done. I'm quite happy because it's nice and solid, it's holding. You can see there's all the glue there, and what we're going to do now is we're going to trim all that excess glue to make it nice and smooth. It won't be smooth, you'll see the seal, there'll be a gap all the way, I think, because I haven't done a very good job, but never mind, we'll fill it up and at some point it'll look nice, I hope. I'm not sure about the back. I've left it open where it was flat. Not sure what we're supposed to do, and I can't be bothered to look at the instructions anymore. So I left it like that. I think it's okay. I've also added a whole lot of glue on the inside to make sure that it holds together, because it seems like an important joint, that one. Alright, so let's take the cutter. I would suggest not to cut towards yourself, because that's how you get hurt. So always cut towards the outside. I will probably do it anyway, but we'll see. Make sure you don't hurt yourself, that's what I'm trying to say here. So there you go, I'm going to do it towards the inside. Just keep your fingers away. I have to admit it's easier like that. Please don't sue me if you get hurt. Not my fault. I told you not to do it. That'll do. Helmet standing. Look at that, beautiful. Oh, this you can even tear with your hands. Be careful when you tear it, okay? You don't want to take the foam with it. That would be silly, wouldn't it? There. Not my size, okay? I'm doing this for one of my kids. I'll do one for me as well, but I want to practice on the kids one. Too small. That's a size 56, I think. But it looks good. I mean, imagine it painted and all that. It'll look good. Time to move on to the faceplate. Same thing, you cut at an angle here, so you should be able to nicely glue them together. You'll glue the bottom and the top. I'm going to glue the bottom first because there's a bigger surface there, so while I do the top, it's got a better chance to hold. And off we go. So we're now about 15 minutes and 3 burns later, and it looks pretty cool. I've got the faceplate. You can see it's still got the shape of the mat, so it's not exactly as it should. It should be more like this, I think. But we can put it on there now with some sort of hinge. Now, a couple of things I've learned just then. First, if you have a bit of excess glue, don't take it out with your finger. That would be silly. It burns. So use your nail at least, or some sort of tool, you know, to scrape it out. Second thing, don't try and go too quickly. I've tried to glue the whole top bit in one go, and that was a bad idea. Just because there's too much surface, I couldn't hold it, and then that burnt, and then so many things happened. So it doesn't look very good. Hopefully I'll be able to sand it and make it nice and smooth, but it still holds now. But go slowly. It's not gonna make it much slower, and you'll get better results anyway. So don't be. I mean, it's just cool to want to see stuff finished, so that's why we go quickly. But never mind. So I don't have any hinges yet, so I'm going to use some. What do you call those? Paintbrushes. Put one in the hole. Put the hole there. Make it the knight of paintbrushes. One in the hole here. One in the hole. There we go, and we have a helmet. Ooh! A helmet that opens. How good is that? Only a few hours in, you know. It's a little bit clunky because it needs to get that shape, and I think we can get that shape by heating it with a heat gun, so I'll have to look into that. But this is pretty cool. I wish I had the head to match it, but I'll give you a picture of my son with it at some point. Alright, so this concludes my first ever tutorial on YouTube on how to make a EVA foam helmet. Next video, what we'll do, we'll seal it, as in to make the paint stick. We'll sand it to make it nice and sharp. We'll fill in the gaps, and then we'll paint it so that it looks a little bit less like foam and a little bit more like metal, some sort of metal. Thank you. If you like this, feel free to subscribe. You know how it works, don't need to go through all this, but every little bit helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep creating.